What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Portal, entitled Avow. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and honestly, at this point, it should be pretty much universally known and recognized what kind of a band Portal is, what kind of influence they've made, and what kind of a reputation they've made within the metal world. This is a band that has a very dark, avant-garde, Lovecraftian sort of style of death metal, and they've been doing some incredible work over the last 2+ decades or so. Of course, with the Portal and the Mills demos to their really, really diverse and eclectic discography of full-lengths, albums such as Sepia, Outre, Swarth, Vexovoid, and of course the last time we had heard something from them back in 2018 with Ion. This band is so incredibly consistent, so daring, so bold, and they always take risks no matter what. And of course, if it wasn't for a band like Portal, we wouldn't have such amazing other projects that some of these guys are involved in, like Vomiter or Impetuous Ritual or Grave Upheaval, just to name a few. Just some really great bands in their own mind, but all going back to Portal now. Portal are definitely one of a kind, and they continue to up the ante with every single full length that they make. But now in 2021, Portal are back, and we have the 6th full-length album from Portal entitled Avow. But what people didn't realize is that they dropped a 7th album soon after the announcement of this one in the form of Hagbulbia. Hagbulbia, to me, is pretty much the companion piece to Avow, more rendered in tense atmosphere, harsh noise, and experimentation, and it's one of those albums that you are supposed to play with Avow simultaneously uninterrupted. But for all intents and purposes, today we're going to be talking about the 6th album, Avow. It's 6 tracks, and it clocks in at around 43 minutes in length, and pretty much from the opening moments of Catafalque, you already know what you're going to be in for. Portal have a very distinctive style, sound, and formula, and here on this album, it is showcased very, very beautifully, and I cannot get enough of it. The main story of Avow to me is the first and second half of this album. The first half of this album just goes straight for the throat and doesn't let go. The second half of this album kind of has a similar beat to it, but it feels a little different in comparison to the first half of the record. But all things told, I think Avow is another wonderful entry into the Portal discography of just some absolutely sheer chaos and terror, and some incredible death metal to go along with it too. Musically, you can't beat what Portal do, and they are doing some tremendous riffs throughout this entire album. Of course, that's the typical sort of Portal sound and formula, are these really dense, cacophonous, body-sounding riffs that just get tighter and tighter and just keep building and building and have just more intensity and just all over the rails sort of feelings when you hear these riffs. I mean, you hear it on the first half of the album with Catafalque, and then and then Offune. And then when the second half of this album gets underway with the track Manner of Speaking to the last closing moments of songs like Bode and Drain, just some seriously top-notch musicianship when it comes to these guitar riffs. Very swarming, very bellowing, very much in your face. The guitar work, the bass work on here is very, very well done, very, very well executed and played, and like I said, it feels very swarming and claustrophobic in a sense. The drumming on this album is just very fast-paced, a lot of drum fills, a lot of blast beats, a lot of high energy and detail, especially for some of the lengthier songs on this album like Catafalque and Manner of Speaking. This drummer is a really, really fantastic drummer, and he's been putting in some high-quality work when it comes to putting Portal records out. It is really, really over the top and sensational. And when it comes to the vocals, of course, it's the typical curator vocal performance. Very commanding, very bellowing, very well worded and articulate. And of course, as with any sort of Portal album, very eloquent and wordy when it comes to the lyrics and the overall themes of this album. It's just really, really mind-boggling that the curator can come up with such really phenomenal wordplay with every lyric that he says and every word that he delivers upon throughout this album. Of course, he is the main vessel of this crazy avant-garde death metal ship, and with every time he gets to speak and do his thing, it is just mesmerizing. And I love the curator and his body of work when it comes to doing great vocals for Portal albums. So, yeah. Avow is fantastic. I definitely think this is another really amazing album in the Portal discography. Of course, having the surprise 7th album, Hagbulbia, come out of nowhere, serve as a companion piece to Avow is a really, really nice gesture. Of course, the sounds, the harshness, the atmosphere, blending in together with everything that Avow does is very crazy. I personally prefer Avow over Hagbulbia because I think one album has a purpose and the other has another different kind of a purpose. But Avow is the more coherent sort of Portal record. Hagbulbia does something a little bit different, but I appreciate what both albums are setting out to do. But I prefer Avow. So if you're a fan of Portal, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy something like Avow. This is a seriously phenomenal record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Profound Records Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally, and at the time of filming this video, I believe the vinyl is still readily available. I believe you can purchase it through the Profound Lore merch table, or you can hit up other distributors like Hell's Headbangers. I believe they had copies of the new Portal for sale. I believe the CD is sold out. The vinyl and CD versions of Hagbulbia are available to order as well, so if you want to have different ways of listening to both of those albums, I would highly recommend that you give that a try and see what you think of it. So, again, the album is Avow by Portal. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 9 out of 10. Another great record from Portal. Yeah, so if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous releases. Have you listened to Avow and Hagbulbia separately or together? Which one do you prefer? What do you think? How do you think it compares to previous Portal albums? Definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Army Hell out.